What do you make of the timing? Meaning he comes here and then leaves, and then this happens.
Well, you know, he's a master of theater. I mean, he's he could do great down the street here on Broadway. He's perfectly suited for that.
Oh, I mean, it was so perfect, right? He makes that whole speech. They have that whole photo op, et cetera, and then he goes and does this. I mean, that is like par for the course. So we have an agreement about no shooting in Ukraine, and then what do? They're all shooting in Ukraine. I mean,
but he does what he wants to do because he doesn't. I mean, first of all, he's dealing with people who have to think about everything that they do. That's us and our allies, and he doesn't have to do that. He does whatever he wants.
How premeditated, though? Meaning, he's been thinking about this for a month.
Well, he's been moving aircraft into the region since before that. He had transport aircraft, tankers, and all the stuff to support him moving in there for 6 to 9 months. So this is, I mean, he's planned this whole thing.
So we're fighting a proxy war, basically, in the Middle East.
We're not fighting any, we're not doing anything. I think we had one airstrike, and it was up near Aleppo yesterday. We are not doing, and one of the things this uncovers is the fiction that we're actually engaged in getting rid of Assad and destroying ISIS on the ground with airstrikes. We've been doing airstrikes, but we haven't made any headway whatsoever. ISIS is still as big as it was before, bigger than it was.
What is in our best national interest at this point for the United States to do?
Shut up is the first thing to do.
Because we're talking too much, but not actually acting.
We're not doing anything whatsoever.
Right. But we talk a lot about it as if we were.
Well, I mean, the most outrageous thing imaginable was the Secretary of Defense publicly saying yesterday, I mean, his criticism of Putin was that Putin was not professional. That the way Russia has been doing it is not professional. I mean, if the worst thing that you can say about somebody is that he's not genteel in waging war and making you look like a dummy, then you've got absolutely nothing to say.
So what's step 2? Shut up first, and then what?
What we really have to do is try to make a coalition if we want to influence what actually takes place in Syria. And by the way, I'm not convinced.
I'm not convinced either. Yeah.
If we were really serious about it, we go up into the northeast, we get the Kurds together with Sunnis, we generate a large multinational that would include the arch enemy of both Syria and of both Russia and Iran in this, and that's Saudi Arabia, and put a coalition together and fight these guys. But we're not going to do it. Saudi Arabia is not going to do it. The United States has no stomach for continuing any war in the Middle East, and I mean, you can tell it's all flypaper there.
Yeah, I guess what I don't understand is, and maybe I just don't understand politics well enough. It's clear that they want to keep the administration wants to keep us out of war. I get that. The American people aren't up for it. But if that's your intention, if basically, you're almost Rand Paul-like in your view of it, if you talk tough all the time, you look silly, you look hypocritical.
That's why
it looks like allies can't trust you what you say.
Because it's clear you don't know what you're talking about. By the way, anybody who has any military experience knows that everything we've been doing there is bankrupt. Talking about how you're not going to have people on the ground is foolish when you say that the way I'm going to win this is I'm going to bomb guys.
All right, let me just tell you, there's some wires crossing right now as we're talking about this. Putin saying that Russia and the United States plan to set up an emergency mechanism to coordinate on Syria. Is this worth more than the paper it's printed on, should we say?
No, it's not. But his position is going to continue to be the same. Which is what he said many times already. Stay out of my airspace. I'm doing what I'm doing. Stay away from me. You can do what you want to do, but stay out of my airspace, which means we're all the way in the Northeast, and that's all we're going to be. We're not going to do anything, further. For Putin, though, this is not a huge victory for Putin. They've been down this kind of road before. Syria is one enormous sheet of flypaper, and he's going to get stuck there. He's going to pour more resources into Syria. He's not going to be successful because Assad eventually is going to go. Nothing lasts forever. And Putin, while he thinks he may be able to control who succeeds him, whoever is going to succeed him will succeed in controlling a very small part of Syria at the end of the day. Anyway.
Yeah, when you look at the map, it's unbelievable.
So, I mean, God bless him if he thinks he's going to have some fun. We've got egg on our face because we clearly have we don't even have a strategy. Right. All that notwithstanding, Putin's heading down the road of perdition.
It feels like Afghanistan, perhaps 1980. Thanks.